back, isn't it? Well, roll the terrible titles. Yes, Doctor Who is indeed back. Bigger and better? Well, we'll come to that one later and how I feel on that one. But I'm going to say right now, this is indeed going to be a spoiler review, really, of sorts. I'm not going to go in great amount of detail, but just in case I'm saying it right now, in case I maybe say something that you didn't maybe want to hear because you've not seen the first two episodes, which is what this video is going to be about, is the first two episodes, since they were both released at the same time. But that's actually something we should talk about first, is berates the time. When is Doctor Who being shown? Well, this is quite a big change that they've done to this new era of Doctor Who. It's been quite a controversial one with the fans, but also the same fans don't seem to understand that you need to change with how television is nowadays. Television has become completely different to what it was back in 2005, and I understand the way they've done it. It's actually very similar to kind of Disney Plus, where they kind of release it at a certain time, and they're just doing it that way. You're still seeing it on BBC One, but basically that Doctor Who will firstly be released at midnight on the night, obviously, of when Doctor Who is going to be shown at 7 o'clock during the actual day. Now, it doesn't really bother me, to be honest. It does when I should have been asleep and I decided to watch at least the first episode at midnight, but there we are. I just couldn't, my urges were just too strong, you see. I had to just watch, obviously, the show. But yes, so that's kind of the big things to kind of talk about in terms of the kind of lead up, I would say, to the show. Russell's back. This is his proper first season as showrunner. Ncuti Gatwa as the Doctor, Millie Gibson as the companion. But will it be, as I say, better? Well, my imaginary remote to turn on the television, let's find out. It's not actually there, it's over there. So the first one let's talk about is Space Babies. Yes, I'm not kidding with that title. Not the best one. I don't really like that title. I'm going to say right now, I wasn't really in hope with this first episode. I don't know why. I just had a feeling that this was just not going to be for me, and it wasn't. I just didn't click with this one whatsoever. There's a couple of things I want to talk about first. So, the first one is the first chunk really did feel like a bit of a kind of box ticking stuff. The Doctor needs to say this, the Doctor needs to say that. And I think for like a viewer like myself, it gets a bit kind of like, okay, well, maybe you could done a lot of this kind of organically through the season instead of just doing it so much in a first episode, where this first episode kind of feels like a waste a little bit, especially when there's only 8 episodes, and it's a bit like, come on, I think we could do maybe something a bit different. It's just, it feels very, we've seen it before now, and I get it for like new viewers, I completely understand, but I think you need to give new viewers a bit more credit. They're not that dumb, I don't think, where I think they could click on to certain things and kind of maybe do, as I say, maybe through the season you kind of actually showcase of what these mean and what these kind of do and such forth. But yeah, I was a bit kind of half and half with how that does. I couldn't care less about the Space Babies. I don't like children. They absolutely annoy me, to be honest. The autism side of me, like, I don't like loud sounds. So when it was an episode of that, I've really just found myself not actually just generally enjoying it. There wasn't really much I could really take away from it. The Bogeyman costume I wasn't a fan of as well. I watched the behind the scenes as well. The hands just look... It was just a weird look. It just didn't really click with me, that look. And it was all just too... Like, I think Doctor Who can be kind of silly, but that stuff of Doctor Who is just not for me. Personally, I never really kind of click with that type of Doctor Who. And it's a shame because Russell does do both, and I wish he did, which I'll talk soon, the latter, because I think he's better doing that. I don't think he's actually good at doing the silly, just because it just comes across as it just feels like a child wrote it, and you know that Russell's better than that. So I get in his mind he's thinking, well, it needs to appeal to everyone, and I get that is what Doctor is all about, but it's just not for me, and there'll be many people that did enjoy it, but it wasn't for me. Ncuti and Millie, my god, they're fantastic. I really like their chemistry together. I think they both are great. I think they both are also great separately as well. I think they're getting good stuff, I think, overall. I don't know if Ncuti's had his the big Doctor moment yet. I don't know, but he's what we've had so far. I'm enjoying them. I think they're very great. I'm going to say right now with Ruby though, if you don't like Amy and Clara, I don't think you're going to like Ruby, because Ruby is very similar. Like, there was stuff in the first episode near the end where, the Doctor is scanning Ruby. Who is she? Who is she? And I'm like, wow, this is like really just taking from the Moffat era, because, that then Series 6, the Doctor was doing that with Amy and scanning her and trying to see is she pregnant, is she not? It's very similar to that, and the whole with Clara, the whole mystery about her. Who is she? Who is she? Very similar to Clara, and it's so bizarre seeing it just taking so much from what we've seen and putting it in here, especially when I know so many fans really didn't like Clara and that sort of stuff. So I don't know if Ruby's going to be a light companion. I love Clara. Clara's my favourite companion of New Who. So Iberites don't have an issue with it, but at the same time, it's kind of been done. This whole trying to do a mystery with the companion, but who knows what the final result will be, because they're really making an effort, and I think it's actually doing quite well. That she's really putting a real, I don't know, it was like impact in the universe, where she seems to kind of go. It's like snow is falling, like our memories are actually becoming real. So it's interesting what they might do, what Russell might kind of do with it. There was also a couple of other things. Obviously the Rani got mentioned, that was nice, but also the Bishop, I found that one interesting. So I don't know if that might be a kind of a wee hint of someone, a new Time Lord maybe coming up. That would be kind of cool to see some new Time Lords. It'd be cool to maybe see the Rani come back. I'd rather see that than the Master, to be honest. I think that would be. I'm pretty sure there was some rights issue with the Rani, I think, and I think that might be also why we've just never really see the Rani very much. But yeah, so that's the Space Babies. I really don't like saying that title. I think it's ridiculous, but yes, it wasn't for me. It probably will be for many people. I didn't really enjoy, as I says, I don't really think, if I'm honest, Russell T Davies is great with openers. I think Rose is fine. I'm really not a fan of New Earth. Smith and Jones again is fine, and again Partners in Crime I think is also just fine. I just don't think they're not he's strong. I don't know why. It's not the strongest part of his kind of stuff. But what is the strongest part is the second episode, which I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed, which was obviously the Devil Chord. And it's like absolutely like night and day. It was bizarre how much of a difference of how much I just didn't enjoy the first episode to absolutely, as I said, adoring the second one. I thought the second one was absolutely fantastic. So a couple of things to talk about. I want to say is I love the setting. I thought for once I thought the budget was used correctly. I feel like there's been kind of issues I think with a bit how, because they're also getting more money, but I feel like sometimes the money's not going in the right places. But I think it worked well in the second one. Big controversy breaks with the second episode because obviously we had the Beatles. Now, if I remember the first photo came out, and to be honest, they're the same in the actual episode. They look nothing like the Beatles. But it kind of doesn't really matter because they're not the main focus of the episode. A difference would be is when you've got Vincent and the Doctor and the Rosa Parks episode. Now, the actors that play those roles look pretty spot on to what they should look like in real life because they are the main focus of those said stories. Unlike the Devil's Chord, where the Beatles are very much more of a side thing. They're not really the main focus and the main draw about the episode. So you're not really meant to worry about it, really. It's not meant to be really, I don't think, a thing that you're really meant to kind of, I don't want to say care, but just, as I said, just clearly just something you're not really meant to worry about. The Maestro I really liked. I thought they were a great villain. I like that. They seem to be, it was the daughter of the toy maker. There seems to be a lot of God stuff going on, so I'm assuming this is maybe going to connect as well. It maybe would have been nice to spread it a little bit, because I feel like we just had the toy maker, then like 2 episodes later we've got another God. It was maybe a bit much, I think, theatrically, if you want to get into it. Interesting that now, and they always go back and forward in this, where the Doctor could just travel within events. Now, they used to bang on, especially in the Russell era, his first era, that they weren't allowed to use the TARDIS during events. And I remember David Tennant shouting it all the time. But here it's just like, yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? And they have done that before, to be fair. So it's always just a wee thing. I'm like, oh right, okay, they're just forgetting about that. Who cares? Fun. I find the episode just generally fun. Overall, I thought it was, unlike the first one, I didn't find it just generally like it wasn't just fun. I don't know what I was meant to get from it. Well, the second one was just more joyful and more exciting, and especially the musical number at the end, which I liked. And I know some folk might moan about a musical, but it makes sense when the whole episode didn't have it. That was the whole point. And at the end, they all kind of they just adore and love having that the music is back, and I thought it was very nicely handled. They did it that kind of way. So nice couple of cameos. Obviously, we had June, who was a costume designer way back in the Tom Baker era. I thought that was nice. And Murray Gold again. This is his second cameo. He cameoed way back in 2008. Oh God, for Voyage of the Damned. So that was nice, which makes sense. And I liked his music. I even liked, to be honest, the stuff that was meant to be bad. I watched the behind the scenes, and they said how it was like, oh, it was meant to, the Beatles music was meant to obviously be bad that they created, but it was actually kind of catchy, I thought, to be honest. I didn't hate it. But yeah, so overall, I really endured the second episode. I loved Shooty and Millie even more. Shooty got some really good, strong stuff, I thought. And they're using, I don't want to, I feel bad like when I say this, but it's just, with the Jodie era, is when I see the way Jodie's Doctor treated like Yaz in general it's just horrible. And then here it's just there's just pure love for each other already between the Doctor and Millie, Ruby. Sorry, I think they're going to be a really iconic pair, the both. So that's my review of the first two episodes. So pure and simply, wasn't a fan of the first one, but absolutely adored the second one. So hopefully I will be doing a video for each episode going forward. I'm looking forward to it. I think so far it's been, well, the second one, it's a good season so far. So I'm looking forward to the rest. I'd like to know what you guys think. Please comment down below. And what do you think of the first two episodes? Please comment down. That would be fantastic. Please like, share and subscribe. That would also be great. More videos in the future. So until then, see you later.